Adapting to circumstances is the worst thing you can do. Now, I know that seems to be busting a myth, and I'm not saying that there's not elements and environments where adaptation is valuable. But by and large, adapting to circumstances really means that we shrink to fit it rather than expand to fill it. And I remember years ago when there was a recession and I noticed myself getting afraid. I noticed myself looking at the budget, how much I was spending, giving to charity, etc. And I caught myself going, I got to start budgeting down. I got to cut things down. I got to cut back on my charitable giving. And I caught myself and I said, wait a second. If the truth principle is that there's infinite abundance, infinite supply, just like there's infinite energy, and that is the truth, and that I'm a unique expression or instrument of that infinite energy or abundance, which is the truth, how would an infinite, inexhaustible being respond to this situation of limitation? And again, as I've talked about in previous conversations where we have to only win one argument within ourselves, I began to have this argument with myself. Well, that is true. I am an infinite, inexhaustible being. There is infinite energy. It's never destroyed. It's literally creating galaxy upon galaxy every moment. So if that's true, how would I show up in my life? How would I act? What would I do? And as I dropped into that, what became very clear is I certainly wouldn't shrink. I would expand. That the challenge of limitation was calling me to become bigger. That it's the valley experience that develops the mountaintop consciousness. When you lack something, that's when you fall in love with something more. And so I began to open up to that, and what came through is I'm not going to cut back on my charity, I'm going to double it. I'm not going to cut back on my investment in my own education and growth and business, I'm going to double it. Now cut to the end of that recession, about a year or so later, while friends were losing their jobs and losing their homes, my business had almost doubled. But more than just having more money at the end of the year, I had more me, more power, more confidence. My channel had become bigger. Whereas when most people shrink to fit the situation, on the other side of it, what happens? Their channel has become smaller. They have less capacity, less confidence, less circulation and flow. And that's why that saying, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's not about the situation. It's that the rich don't adapt. When everybody's fleeing a falling stock, the best investors expand, they invest in it, and then they ride it all the way up. And the people that are afraid, when it rides all the way up, they buy it at the top, and then they ride it all the way down. So when something is challenging you, when something is shrinking, if there's a situation where there's less and less love in a relationship, you don't shrink and adapt to that and give as good as you get, because you know what you're going to get? Less and less of what you really want. There'll be less love, less peace, less joy, less connection. If the love is diminishing, that is calling you to open your heart wider. Love yourself more. Love them more. Bring more of whatever is missing or diminishing. Do not adapt to conditions. Expand in the face of limitation. And watch as you commit to being bigger and stronger and carrying more, that on the other side of that challenge, you are more, you have more, you can be more, and you can do more. And then because you're a larger channel, the universe will move you into bigger and better and more abundant opportunities. I guarantee it. Do not adapt to circumstances. Expand in the face of contraction and ask, if I truly believed I was an infinite, inexhaustibly powerful, creative, abundant being, how would I show up here? What would I do? And then do it. So until next time, remember, live authentically, love unconditionally, and follow your destiny.